Speak, starting on page 133. A night to remember. I can't sleep after the game, again. I spend a couple hours tuning AM radio to the weird bounces of night. I listen to Jabber Jabber from Quebec, a farm report from Minnesota, and a country station in Nashville. I crawl out my window onto the porch roof and wrap myself in all my blankets. A fat white seed sleeps in the sky. Slush is frozen over. People say that winter lasts forever, but it's because they obsess over the thermometer. North in the mountains, the maple syrup is trickling. Brave geese punch through the thin ice left on the lake. Underground, pale seeds roll over in their sleep, starting to get restless, starting to dream green. The moon looked closer back in August. Rachel got us to the end of the summer party, a cheerleader party, with beer and seniors and music. She blackmailed her brother Jimmy to drive us. We were all sleeping over at Rachel's house. Her mother thought Jimmy was taking us roller skating. It was at a farm a couple of miles from our development. The kegs were in the barn where the speakers were set up. Most people hung at the edge of the lights. They looked like models in the blue jeans ad, thin, 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 big lips, big earrings, wide smiles. I felt like such a little kid. Rachel found a way to fit in, of course. She knew a lot of people because of Jimmy. I tasted a beer. It was worse than cough medicine. I gulped it down. Another beer and one more. Then I worried I would throw up. I walked out of the crowd toward the woods. The moon shone on the leaves. I could see the lights, like stars strung in the pines. Somebody giggled. Hidden beyond the dark, quiet boy-girl whispers. I couldn't see them. A step behind me, a senior. And then he was talking to me, flirting with me. This gorgeous cover model guy. His hair was way better than mine, his every inch a tanned muscle, and he had straight white teeth. Flirting with me. Where was Rachel? She had to see this. Greek god said, "Where did you come from? You're too beautiful to hide in the dark. Come dance with me." He took my hand and pulled me close to him. I breathed in cologne and beer and something I couldn't identify. I fit in against his body perfectly, my head level with his shoulder. I was a little dizzy. I laid my cheek on his chest. He wrapped one arm around my back. His other hand slid down to my butt. I thought it was a little rude, but my tongue was thick with beer and I couldn't figure out how to tell him to slow down. The music was sweet. This was what high school was supposed to feel like. Where was Rachel? She had to see this. He tilted my face up to his. He kissed me. Man kiss. Hard, sweet, and deep. Nearly knocked me off my feet, that kiss, and I thought for just a minute there that I had a boyfriend. I would start high school with a boyfriend, older and stronger and ready to watch out for me. He kissed me again. His teeth ground hard against my lips. It was hard to breathe. A cloud cloaked the moon. Shadows looked like photo negatives. "Do you want to?" he asked. What did he say? I didn't answer. I didn't know. I didn't speak. We were on the ground. When did that happen? No. No, I don't like this. I was on the ground and he was on top of me. My lips mumble something about leaving, about a friend who needs me, about my parents worrying. I can hear myself. I'm mumbling like a deranged drunk. His lips lock on mine and I can't say anything. I twist my head away. He is so heavy. There is a boulder on me. I open my mouth to breathe, to scream, and his hand covers it. In my head, my voice is clear as a bell. No, I don't want to, but I can't spit it out. I'm trying to remember how we got on the ground and where the moon went, and wham, shirt up, shorts down, and the ground smells wet and dark, and no, I'm not really here. I'm definitely back at Rachel's, crimping my hair and gluing on fake nails, and he smells like beer and mean, and he hurts me, hurts me, hurts me, and gets up, and zips his jeans, and smiles. The next thing I saw was the telephone. I stood in the middle of a drunken crowd and I called 911 because I needed help. All those visits from Officer Friendly in second grade paid off. A lady answered the phone. "Police, state your emergency." And I saw my face in the window over the kitchen sink, and no words came out of my mouth. Who was that girl? I had never seen her before. Tears oozed down my face, over my bruised lips, pooling on the handset. "It's okay," said the nice lady on the phone. "We have your location. Officers are on the way. Are you hurt? Are you being threatened?" Someone grabbed the phone from my hands and listened. A scream. The cops were coming. Blue and cherry lights flashing in the kitchen sink window. Rachel's face, so angry, in mine. Someone slapped me. I crawled out of the room through a forest of legs. Outside, the moon smiled goodbye and slipped away. I walked home to an empty house without a word. It isn't August. The moon is asleep, and I'm sitting on my porch roof like a frozen gargoyle, wondering if the sun is going to blow off the world today and sleep in. There is blood on the snow. I bit my lip clear through. It needs stitches. Mom will be late again. I hate winter. I've lived in Syracuse my whole life, and I hate winter. It starts too early and ends too late. No one likes it. Why does anyone stay here? My report card. Social life F. Social studies F. Spanish D. Art A. Lunch D. Biology D+. Algebra F. Clothes F. English D+. Gym D. Fourth marking period. Exterminators. The PTA has started a petition to get rid of the Hornets as our school mascot. It was the cheer that got to them. They heard it in the last basketball game. "We are the Hornets, horny, horny Hornets. Everywhere we go, oh, people want to know, oh, who we are, so we tell them we are the Hornets, horny, horny Hornets." And on and on and on. The wiggles and shakes that accompany the cheer freaked out the Merriweather PTA. Freaked out PTAs all over the city when the Horny Hornet cheer was televised. The TV sports guy thought the song was cute, so he did a segment showing the Hornet hustle, with the cheerleaders shaking their stingers and the crowd bumping and grinding their Horny Hornet high knees. The student council started a counter petition. The Honor Society wrote it. It describes the psychological harm we have all suffered from this year's lack of identity. It pleads for consistency, stability. It's pretty good. We, the students of Merriweather High, have become proud of our Hornet selves. We are tenacious, stinging, clever. We are a hive, a community of students. Don't take away our Hornetdom. We are Hornets. It wasn't a real issue until football starts up again. Our baseball team always stinks. The wet season. Spring is on the way. The winter rats, rusty brown, $700 cars that everybody with sense drives from November until April are rolling back into storage. The snow is melting for good, and the pretty baby shiny cars glitter in the senior parking lot. There are other signs of spring. Front lawns cough up the shovels and mittens that were gobbled by snowdrifts in January. My mother moved the winter coats up to the attic. Dad's been mumbling about the snow windows, but hasn't taken them down. From the bus, I saw a farmer walking his field, waiting for the mud to tell him when to plant. April Fool's Day is when most seniors get their acceptance or rejection letters from college. Thumbs up or thumbs down. It's a sick piece of timing. Tensions are running high. Kids drink pink stomach medicine from the bottle. David Petricus, my lab partner, is writing a database program to track who is in where. He wants to analyze which advanced placement classes the seniors took, their standardized test scores, extracurriculars, and GPAs to figure out what he needs to do to get into Harvard. I've been going to most of my classes. Good girl, Melly. Roll over, Melly. Sit, Melly. No one has patted me on the head, though. I passed an algebra test. I passed an English test. I passed a biology test. Well, hallelujah. It is all so profoundly stupid. Maybe this is why kids join clubs, to give them something to think about during class. Andy Beast joined the International Club. I hadn't figured him for a deep interest in Greek cooking or French museums. He has abandoned the Martha table and hangs around and onto Rachel/Rochelle and Greta Ingrid and all the other resident aliens. Rachel/Rochelle flutters her purple eyelashes at him like he's some kind of uber dude. You'd think she'd have more sense. Easter came and went without much notice. I think it caught my mother by surprise. She doesn't like Easter because the date keeps shifting and it's not a big shopping holiday. When I was a kid, Mom used to hide colored eggs for me all over the house. The last egg was inside a big basket of chocolate rabbits and yellow marshmallow chicks. Before my grandparents died, they would take me to church and I would wear stiff dresses with itchy lace. This year, we celebrated by eating lamb chops. I made hard-boiled eggs for lunch and drew little faces on them with a black pen. Dad complained about how much yard work has to be done. Mom didn't say much. I said less. In heaven, my grandparents frowned. I sort of wish we had gone to church. Some of the Easter songs are pretty. Spring break. It is the last day of spring break. My house is shrinking and I feel like Alice in Wonderland. Afraid that my head might burst through the roof, I head for the mall. I have $10 in my pocket. What to spend it on? French fries, $10 worth of French fries, ultimate fantasy. If Alice in Wonderland were written today, I bet she'd have a supersized order of fries that said "Eat me" instead of a small cake. On the other hand, we're rushing towards summer, which means shorts and t-shirts, and maybe even a bathing suit now and then. I walk past the deep fat fryers. Now that spring is past, the fall fashions are in the store windows. I keep waiting for the year when the fashions catch up to the seasons. A couple of stores have performance artists hanging at the front door. One guy keeps flying a stupid loop-de-loop airplane. A plastic-faced woman keeps tying and retying a shawl. No, now it's a skirt. Now it's a halter top. Now it's a headscarf. People avoid looking at her, as if they aren't sure if they should applaud or tip her. I feel bad for her. I wonder what her grades were in high school. I want to give her a tip, only it would be rude to ask if she has change for a 10. I ride the escalator down to the central fountain, where today's entertainment is face painting. The line is long, and loud 6-year-olds and their mothers. The little girl walks past me. She's a tiger. She's crying about ice cream and she wipes her tears. Her tiger paint smears and her mom yells at her. What a zoo. I turn. Ivy is sitting on the edge of the fountain, a giant sketchbook balanced on her knees. She nods toward the line of whiners and face painters furiously coloring stripes, spots, and whiskers. I feel bad for them, I say. What are you drawing? Ivy moves so I can sit next to her and hands me the sketchbook. She's drawing the kids' faces. Half of each face is plain and sad, and the other half is plastered with thick clown makeup that is fake happy. She hasn't painted any tigers or leopards. The last time I was here, they were doing clown faces. No such luck today, Ivy explains. Looks good, though, I say. It's kind of spooky, not creepy, but unexpected. I hand back the sketchbook. Ivy pokes her pencil into her bun. Good, that's what I'm trying for. That turkey bone thing you did was creepy, too. Creepy in a good way. Good creepy. It's been months, and I'm still thinking about it. What am I supposed to say now? I bite my lip, then release it. I pull a roll of lifesavers from my pocket. Want a piece? She takes one. I take 3, and we suck in silence for a moment. How's the tree coming? She asks. I groan. Stinks. It was a mistake to sign up for art. I just couldn't see myself taking woodshop. You're better than you think you are, Ivy says. She opens to an empty page in the sketchbook. I don't know why you keep using a linoleum block. If I were you, I'd just let it out. Draw. Here, try a tree. We sit there trading pencils. I draw a trunk. Ivy adds a branch. I extend the branch, but it is too long and spindly. I start to erase it, but Ivy stops me. It's fine the way it is. It just needs some leaves. Layer the leaves and make them slightly different sizes, and it will look great. You have a great start there. She's right. Genetics. The last unit of the year in biology is genetics. It's impossible to listen to Miss Keene. Her voice sounds like a cold engine that won't turn over. The lecture starts with some priest named Greg who studied vegetables and ends up with an argument about blue eyes. I think I missed something. How did we leap from veggies to eye color? I'll copy David's notes. I flip ahead in the textbook. There's an interesting chapter about acid rain. Nothing about sex. We aren't scheduled to learn about that until 11th grade. David draws a chart in his notebook. I snap my pencil point and walk to the front of the room to sharpen it. I figure the walk will do me good. Miss Keene sputters on. We get half our genes from our mother and half from our father. I thought my genes came from efforts. Ha ha, biology joke. Mom says I take after Dad's side of the family. They're mostly cops and insurance salesmen who bet on football games and smoke disgusting cigars. Dad says I take after Mom's side of the family. They're farmers who grow rocks and poison ivy. They don't say much, visit dentists, or read. When I was a little kid, I used to pretend I was a princess who had been adopted when my kingdom was overrun by bad guys. Any day my real parents, Mr. King and Mrs. Queen, would send the royal limo to pick me up. I just about had a 7-year-old heart attack when my dad took a limo to the airport the first time. I thought they had really come to take me away and I didn't want to go. Dad took taxis after that. I look out the window. No limos. No chariots or carriages. Now, when I really want to leave, no one will give me a ride. I sketch a willow tree drooping into the water. I won't show it to Mr. Freeman. This one is for my closet. I've been taping some of my drawings on the walls. Any more classes as boring as this one, and I'll be ready to move back in there full time. My leaves are good, natural. The trick is to make them different sizes and then crowd them one on top of another. Ivy was right. Miss Keene writes dominant/recessive on the board. I look at David's notes. He's drawing a family tree. David got his hair gene from his dad and his eye gene from his mom. I draw a family tree, a family stump. There aren't that many of us. I can barely remember their names. Uncle Jim, Uncle Thomas, Aunt Mary, Aunt Kathy. There's another aunt. She is very recessive. She recessed herself all the way to Peru. I think I have her eyes. I got my I don't want to know about it gene from my dad and my I'll think about it tomorrow gene from my mom. Miss Keene says we'll have a quiz the next day. I wish I had paid attention during class. I wish I were adopted. I wish David would quit sighing when I asked to copy his notes. 10 more lies they tell you in high school. Number 1. You will use algebra in your adult lives. Number 2. Driving to school is a privilege that can be taken away. Number 3. Students must stay on campus for lunch. Number 4. The new textbooks will arrive any day now. Number 5. Colleges care about more than your SAT scores. Number 6. We are enforcing the dress code. Number 7. We will figure out how to turn off the heat soon. Number 8. Our bus drivers are highly trained professionals. Number 9. There is nothing wrong with summer school. Number 10. We want to hear what you have to say. My life as a spy. Rachel/Rochelle has lost her mind. She has flipped. She went to the movies with Andy Beast and her exchange friends, and now she follows after him, painting like a bitchin' fries. He wears her buddy Greta Ingrid draped around his neck like a white scarf. When he spits, I bet Rachel/Rochelle catches it in a cup and saves it. Rachel/Rochelle and some other twit natter about the movie date before Mr. Stetman starts class. I want to puke. Rachel/Rochelle is just Andy this and Andy that. Could she be more obnoxious? I close my ears to her stupid, asthmatic laugh and work on the homework that was due yesterday. It is usually easy to do homework in class because Mr. Stetman's voice creates a gentle white noise sound barrier. I can't do it today. I can't escape the arguments circling in my head. Why worry about Rachel/Rochelle? Parentheses, he'll hurt her. Had she done a single decent thing for me the whole year? She was my best friend through middle school. That counts for something. No, she's a witch and a traitor. She didn't see what happened. Let her lust after the beast. I hope he breaks her heart. What if he breaks something else? When class is over, I slide into the middle of the pack, pushing out the door before Mr. Stetman can bust me for the homework. Rachel/Rochelle shoves past me to where Greta Ingrid and a short kid from Belgium are waiting. I tail them, always keeping 2 bodies between us like the detectives on television. They're on their way to the foreign language wing. That's no surprise. The foreign kids are always there, like they need to breathe air scented with their native language a couple times a day or they'll choke to death on too much American. Andy B swoops over their heads, folds his wings, and sets himself between the girls as they start up the stairs. He tries to kiss Greta Ingrid's cheek, but she turns away. He kisses Rachel/Rochelle's cheek, and she giggles. He does not kiss the cheek of the short Belgian. The Belgian and the Swede wave ciao at the office of the foreign language department. Rumor has it that there's an espresso machine in there. Their friendly momentum keeps Rachel/Rochelle and Andy walking all the way to the end of the hall. I face a corner and pretend to study algebra. I figure that's enough to make me unrecognizable. They sit on the floor, Rachel/Rochelle in a full lotus. Andy steals Rachel/Rochelle's notebook. She whines like a baby and throws herself across his lap to get it back. I shiver with goosebumps. He tosses the notebook from one hand to the other, always keeping it just out of her reach. Then he says something to her. I can't hear it. The hall sounds like a packed football stadium. His lips move poison, and she smiles, and then she kisses him wet. Not a Girl Scout kiss. He gives her the notebook. His lips move. Saliva spills out of... No, excuse me. His lips move. Lava spills out of my ears. She is not any part of a pretend Rochelle chick. I can only see third-grade Rachel, who liked barbecue potato chips, and who braided pink embroidery thread into my hair that I wore for months until my mom made me cut it out. I rest my forehead against the prickly stucco. Thin atmosphere. The best place to figure this out is my closet, my throne room, my foster home. I want to shower. Maybe I should tell Greta Ingrid. My Swedish isn't good enough. I could talk to Rachel. Yeah, right. I could say I've heard bad things about Andy. It would only make him more attractive. I could maybe tell her what happened. As if she'd listen. What if she told Andy? What would he do? There isn't much room for pacing. I take 2 steps, turn 2 steps back. I bang my shin against the chair. Stupid room. What a dumb idea sitting in a closet like this. I flop in the chair. It whooshes out old janitor smells. Feet, beef jerky, shirts left in the washer too long. The turkey bone sculpture gives off a faint rotting odor. 3 baby food jars of potpourri don't make a dent in the stink. Maybe there's a dead rat decomposing in the wall, right near the hot air vent.